Are you following me, ma'am?
I'm recording you.
Hi, you heard it from Jesus. Niggers don't make it into heaven. There you go.
What's your name?
My name is Eric Wayne Myrie. Niggers don't make it into heaven. There you go.
What's your name?
My name is Eric Wayne Myrie. Spread it to the black communities. Fix your horrible culture.
Okay, what else?
If you ever want to have a chance of getting into heaven upon your death, fix your horrible culture in the black communities.
And what else?
Spread it and spread the true word. Spread the gospel. Be with Christ.
So this person's automatically going to hell because by our teachings, white people are the only ones in heaven. That's when you start to realize we were just a tiny little speck in the world. And who were we to think that we're the chosen ones of God and everyone else is going to burn in hell?
You're saying those thoughts came once you started attending
once I went
a
to
public school.
Because my first friend I made was not a white person. And then I remember crying, being like, so this person's automatically going to hell because by our teachings, white people are the only ones in heaven.
Oh, you didn't talk about that. So what are the racial teachings around skin color?
I believe this comes from Joseph Smith, The Great War in Heaven, where there's the battle between good and evil. This is what happened before any of us were ever born. We were all angels in heaven with God and Jesus and Satan, and we were all fighting about if we should take Jesus's plan or Satan's plan. Mm-hmm. So the ones who chose Jesus's plan, which was us white people, and they went on this side and they get to be members of earth, whatever. And then there was the demons of hell who chose Satan's side, so they never get to be born. And then there was the fence sitters who could not decide Jesus or Satan. And those are all the people who are not white.
Who are brown-skinned. Mm-hmm. And that's absolutely been taught as Mormon, mainstream LDS church doctrine for at least a century. Now the church distances, just in the past decade, the LDS Church will distance itself from that teaching. But I was raised as a traditional Latter-day Saint with that teaching of the fence sitters in the pre-existence and became the people of color in,
and
this
what we believed, I don't know if they believed that in the LDS Church, but what we believed is they get a chance to come to earth, but they're going to go straight to hell afterwards.
Black man dragged through the streets.
They shot the man and they hanged him and then used his body for target practice. They shot the man and they hanged him and then used his body for target practice, so as to teach black folk a lesson.
This is what we're going to need some help at.
But this is not the distant past. This is just last month in a secluded property in the woods where people have come to join the Grand Dragon Stephen Howard for what they call a cross lighting.
America is at turmoil and we're lighting crosses to let people know that America is at turmoil right now.
This Klansman, who asked we not show his face for fear he'd be fired from his job, starts to get ready for the evening's rituals.
But you're wearing the robes of traditional terrorists, of traditional haters.
That's just the outlook that they want to give you. That ain't true. Not everybody was like that.
So you think this is what a good Christian man does?
Yeah, this is our Christianity. I mean, that's just plain and simple.
Howard says he's allowed us to come here to show us the new Klan is neither hate-filled nor violent. Yet what we heard and saw during our time with them suggests otherwise.
Black people and white people are nowhere related. In my opinion, I think black people evolved from animals. And I believe that we need to be separated. Whites and blacks need to be separated. I don't agree with race mixing. Let them set up their own state where they belong and give them their own homeland.
And if your daughter, when she got older, came home and said, I want to go out with a black boy,
I'd disown her. Wouldn't have nothing else to do with her for the rest of my life.
Because of who she loved.
No, it's not love. If you love somebody of your own race.
Who decreed that?
God decreed that. Jesus decreed that.
I thought Jesus said love each other.
Jesus said love your neighbor. But if you read, God decreed that. Jesus decreed that.
I thought Jesus said love each other.
Jesus said love your neighbor. But if you read the Bible.
As yourself.
You know, there's an argument to be made that by our covering the Ku Klux Klan, we play into their hand. We help them recruit. What do you make of that?
Every time you have a story on the front page of the local newspaper about a Klan rally or something along those lines, the Klan or that particular group does get a member or two. On the other hand, 99.9% people who read about that are essentially inoculated against them. I think it's actually harming them more than it's helping them in the end.
Back in Mississippi as nightfall, Steve and his wife Nicole tell us something stunning about Steve's 11-year-old daughter. who is here for all of the night's proceedings.
Your 11-year-old daughter has a road?
She has her own road.
So she was 8.
And she chose.
She wanted it.
But you think at 11 she can understand?
I think she understands more than what people. Children are very perspective.
She has a beautiful road.
She wants to be like her daddy.
This is the first time I've actually robed up, so it's a little bit big on me.
And now it's time for all members of the group to robe up.
Where you at, Mom?
I'm right here, son. I'll get you.
I've read in some of the literature that there are some people who think that if Barack Obama is reelected, the storm, something they call the storm, is going to come.
Oh, it's going to happen.
What's the storm?
I fear it. War. And he's going to start it. He's going to start it. I fear it. I feel it. I feel it coming on. And it ain't just me. It's just, it's going to be another war in this United States of America. If he gets elected back to office, it's going to happen. If he gets 4 more years, Barack Obama will ruin this country. And white people will be in concentration camps. And if you don't believe white people can't be in concentration camps, people sadly mistaken.
And his solution to avoid this supposed impending storm is an all-white South, where all blacks, Hispanics, and Jews are banned, given someplace else, he says, to live in America.
I want to make sure I understand you. If the goal is white separatism, separating the races, the only way to separate the races is using violence. You're not going to be able to just say nicely, please leave.
If they will peacefully go, then yeah. But if they won't peacefully go, that's the only way, is through violence. Is through making them go. That's it.
And you'd be willing to be part of that. It's a race war you're talking about, essentially.
Very much so.
His hero and predecessor was a convicted murderer and former head of the Mississippi White Knights.
What do you think about Sam Bowers?
He's the greatest Klansman that ever lived.
Well, Sam Bowers was accused and convicted of murder.
I don't endorse murder.
What about other forms of violence?
I don't endorse murder.
I guess that means that other forms of violence may be okay.
You have to form your own opinion on that.
You stand right there.
These words seem particularly ominous as the members line up, preparing to head into the woods to enact a tradition that has haunted the American consciousness for more than a century.